The biggest buy for Gigi and for the mini auction was Simran Sheikh. So UP Warriors have quite a few things sorted for them. Akshita Maheshwari, where has this hidden gem been? Uttarakhand has delivered 3 quality cricketers into this WPL. Last year's champion, RCB, came in with some very clear plans. Hi and welcome to the roundup of the WPL mini auction. 19 players were to be selected from a pool of 124 who were available in the auction list, out of which 5 were foreign players and 14 were Indian contingent. All the teams went in with the requirement of a fast bowler, specifically a leg spinner, and a few teams needed wicket keepers as well. And so those who had this role going had a lot to offer, and they went for quite a bit. And that's all we are going to discuss today over here. Let's start with the team that finished last season, Gujarat Giants. Coach Michael Klinger made a lot of changes. He changed his coaching staff as well. So now, while he is the head coach, Praveen Tambe is the bowling coach, and Daniel Marsh has come in as the batting coach. Mithali Raj, who was earlier the mentor with the Gujarat Giants, has currently been appointed as the ACA, Andhra Cricket Association's mentor. She's doing pretty much a similar role, but within the country. Nushin, who was the coach, one of the coaches, is also now not part of the system and is currently coaching the women's under-19 India team. So how did their auction go? The first name in the auction list was world boss Deandra Doughton, and that's whom they went for. It was a big matchup that was happening between, a rivalry that was happening between Gujarat Giants and UP Warriors. Both teams really fought nail and tooth for it. And at the end of it, it was Gujarat Giants who picked her up for a walloping 1.7 crores. Gigi has a history as well with Deandra Doughton. Last season, I don't know how many of you remember, or rather it's unforgettable actually, that she was part of the team, and then for unknown reasons, she decided to step away. Now, she is going back to the same franchisee, but that's the beauty, isn't it? Time heals so many things, so many changes and all of that, and I'm sure Deandra Doughton will be a fantastic addition to the team. Questions can be asked later as to how she is going to fit in. But imagine Deandra Doughton coming back after 2 years of staying away from cricket, playing only franchisee cricket, and then coming into probably the biggest league in the world, the Tata WPL, and making it count big time. Deandra Doughton, as many of you know, needs very short periods of batting stints to make an impact. And 2 overs is all she needs to turn the game around. So, all in all, Gigi, who needed a good medium pacer in the middle, who could probably change the pace, change things around, have got a very good deal with Deandra Doughton. Next comes Prakashika Naik. I said, remember, leg spinners were out there to get quite a bit of numbers going their way. Well, she was one of them. She's a leg spinning all-rounder from Mumbai, has played alongside Jemima, Radha Yadav during the zonal period earlier in her career, and is now seeing a revival of sorts. She was picked up at base price, and I think that's a great pick for Gigi to go with a leg spinner in their ranks, and they'll do really well. Last year, in fact, she had an opportunity to play against the England A team when she represented the India A, and she did fairly well, bowled some tight spells. I think all these factors, a little exposure to international cricket in the form of an India A tour definitely helped her. The next pick that we're going to talk about is Daniela Gibson from England, medium pace all-rounder, has played for Adelaide Strikers this year in the WBBL. And although she was a last-minute addition into the Gigi squad, again, one of the reasons could be her medium pace ability in the middle overs, because their Indian medium pace contingent is looking good. Highest buy of last year, Kashvi Gautam, we just have to talk about her a little, although not part of this auction, hasn't yet played a game for Gigi. She was picked as the highest bid, 2 crore bid, and then was down with an injury. So this year will mark her debut as well for Gigi if she gets to play, fingers crossed. The biggest buy for Gigi and for the mini auction was Simran Sheikh, top order bat from Mumbai, breaking records. The value of domestic cricket and good current form was exactly the reason why she went for as much as she did. Well, there is a lovely story to her as well, from very humble backgrounds, from Dharavi. Her father, not the richest. She comes in to the WPL auctions, the first edition picked up by UP Warriors at a base price of 10 lakhs. Let go the next season, not picked by anybody in the 2024 edition. And this year, 1.9 crores. It's not about the money. Yes, it's going to make a huge difference to her. Like Michael Klinger said, if lives are going to be changed because of this kind of a franchisee system, then why not? It's about the effort and the ability to not give up. You know, you feel one day you're down in the dumps and then the next day something like this happens. It kind of reaffirms your faith in the way you conduct yourself, in the processes that you have followed, in your practice methods, in your hard work, in the trust. Sunetra Paranjpe, her coach from Mumbai, has very, very high regards for her player, Simran Sheikh. Says not only is she a good player, but a lovely human being as well. And this is what happens to good people, I guess. You get picked doing the right things in the right place. And hopefully, Gigi will be hoping that all their current picks comes to fruition and they finally move up the spot that they've been holding on to. Not a very pleasurable spot to be in the last place. And I'm sure Michael Klinger will be hoping that this year's WPL is definitely a better one for them. Who knows, maybe they'll go all the way. The next team we're going to discuss about is UP Warriors. They walked into the auction with 3 of their management people ready to bid and go with a team that could again give them a semblance of getting into the top 3. Alyssa Healy leads them and she's a very, very good leader, no doubt about it. But then she also has had issues with medium pacers not coming in and delivering the goods. They had a Saima Thakur, who they chose last year, came in as a replacement and ended up doing really, really well and has made her India debut both in the ODI format and in the T20 format. So based on those kind of intuitions, they've made another pick. Kranti Gaul. She's a fast bowler from MP. Hasn't had too much of an opportunity to play in the senior team this year. But I guess that's where all the scouts and all the watching and all the instincts kick in. Their coach and the management feels that she'll be somebody that they'll be able to groom. They have backed potential. It's not every time that potential gets recognized in a large system like India has. But this is one of those times where potential has been recognized, has been backed. And I think if there are fast bowlers like Kranti Gaul in the making in India, India can be a front runner in developing many, many cricketers in the future who could perhaps create records, break barriers, and move on seamlessly from the domestic cricket to the international front. Another player who's been picked up by UP Warriors is Arushi Goel. Middle order bat from UP, has played India A, has been in a decent form this year. Comes in the middle, scores some quick runs, 30 odd runs in at a strike rate of about 110, 120 sometimes, and very good square of the wicket, uses the sweep very well. So in conditions depending on where they are going to play, if it assists spinners, then Arushi Goel may be their go-to batter in the middle. The last pick for them, and they had her come in the accelerated auction, was Alana King, another Australian in a relatively Australian-dominated setup. Alyssa Healy, like I said, is the captain. Talia Megra is there, and Alana King joins them. Not only is she a top-class leg spinner who has some fantastic variations. In fact, her flipper, I think, is probably quite unreadable at the moment. But she also offers quite a bit with the bat. she can hit the ball hard. So which means they're also lengthening their batting depth. So UP Warriors have quite a few things sorted for them, and what they need typically is a Sophie Eccleston and a Deepti Sharma to click at the right times. Deepti Sharma will have to be used very, very wisely. She is not a finisher, so they have to find a finisher now. And if they're only going to use Deepti as a bowler, then they'll also have to find a way for her to get more effective, because her teammate, Talia McGrath, and an opponent, Annabel Sutherland, in the recent tour, India's tour to Australia, took Deepti to the cleaners. Deepti must be hoping that she finds a way around the obstacles that have of late been her Achilles heel. The third team that we're going to talk about is probably going to be a little special. We'll come to the special person a little later. Let's talk about the rest of them. This is going to be the Mumbai Indians, one family, the team in blue. Akshita Maheshwari from Rajasthan got some booming in-swingers. And the kind of season that she had in 2023 for the under-23 team is spectacular. 2 hat-tricks, one against Mizoram, the other against Orissa. And every time she bowled, she's picked up a wicket, a 4-for, a 3-for, a 6-for against Goa. But she's not been playing in the senior squad much. Comes as a surprise once you've seen the way she bowls that she is not a regular in the senior setup. But I guess that is again where all the watching and the years of noting down and observing stats and following players around, talking with the coaches that they train under has benefited. She's a cricketer who is definitely looking really good. Her basic structure and action, all of which spell signs for a very, very long-term investment, not just for MI, who like to groom their players. And guess who's their mentor and bowling coach available? Julan Goswami. She's going to have a fantastic time working with Akshita Maheshwari. And you will, I'm sure, get to see her play and you'll realize, where has this hidden gem been all this while? Sanskriti Gupta was the player again that they went for, an off-spinner and a left-hand bat. Little cheeky in the way she gets run. Solid cricketer, good attitude, fiery in the way she conducts herself on the field. She's had a very good season this year. When I say good season, it's not like the numbers are huge, but there are certain qualities about her that make her useful. See, right arm off spinner, having an economy of 4.29 in all the games that she has bowled, I think it's damn good. Not very often do off spinners have this kind of an economy, which means that there is some value to her bowling ability. And although diminutive in stature, she does pack a punch when she plays it over covers and uses her feet well. So from what I see, little I've seen of her, she's going to fit in just fine. Because like I said, MI is a team that believes in nurturing young players, and Sanskriti will definitely do well to be a part of that setup. Nadine D. Clark was the one foreign player that they had an option for. They had only one slot left, and they went for Nadine D. Clark, who's making a shift from RCB to MI. She only played one game for RCB, picked up a couple of wickets. But what South Africa is looking at her, or the role that they are looking for her, is her along with Dirksen, is somebody who can probably come on par with the Marizanne cap. If that is the case, then Nadine D. Clark is in the right country. I feel the hard lens that she hits, she doesn't come in and just let the ball go. She puts in a lot of effort, runs in hard, bowls it hard, uses a lot of her shoulder into that delivery. I think she will definitely be able to use Indian conditions well if directed well. Again, having somebody like a Julan definitely helps a fast bowler who wants to really prove their worth in Indian conditions, often argued as the toughest ones. The next player that MI picked was G. Kamalini from Tamil Nadu. This year has been phenomenal for that kid. Starting off with the high performance camps in the National Cricket Academy, she has been rated very highly to be one for the future for sure. But how is she going to get there? She has to play her under-19s, World Cups and all of that and find her way into the main team. So that's exactly what happened. She's now been picked in the India under-19 squad which is playing the Asia Cup. Recently, in the first game against Pakistan, she scored a 44 not out and was also the player of the match. And on the very same day, she gets picked by MI for a whopping 1.6 crores. Her story is tremendous. Her journey is exquisite to listen to. You can listen to it all day. And her work ethics, phenomenal. I've seen her from close quarters, and I assure you, when you see her play, you know that you are watching a once in a lifetime kind of a player. I think been picked more as a backup this season for Yastika, but that won't be lasting for too long. She could probably be making a case for herself very soon. Because apart from her keeping skills, she's a brilliant fielder. And although she plays right at the top of the innings for Tamil Nadu, for India under 19, you can also see her play in the middle order, lower middle, where MI currently need a player to amp up the scoring rate. Because after Harmanpreet Kaur and Natsiva Brunt, somewhere around that area, a left-hander coming in could prove to be worth quite a bit. And she's the ideal kind of player, uses her feet well, very aggressive between the wickets. And you've not seen the last of Kamalini playing just in the WPL. You will watch her play, watch her in India Blues for sure. And I'm sure and I hope with all my heart that she will help India win the World Cup. The next team that we're going to discuss is last year's finalists, Delhi Capitals. They've been so consistent, haven't they? Solid team. They don't have much to change. They released a few players, one of which was a wicket keeper. And they've got two in the bargain. And both at base price. That's the best part. And both excellent cricketers. First is Nandini Kashyap, who hails from Uttarakhand. Now, Uttarakhand has delivered 3 quality cricketers into this WPL. First of whom we're going to talk about is Nandini Kashyap. She's a wicket-keeper opening bat, has had a phenomenal year with the bat. She received her India call-up, part of the West Indies tour of India, and that in itself was, if she thought was huge, on the very same day, again she gets picked by Delhi Capitals. And this season has been, like I said, been really good. She's our 3rd highest run getter in the T20 format. 9 matches. This is only the senior T20 trophy information. 9 matches, 247 runs at an average of 41 and at a strike rate of 125. She was selected for the Challengers, which became even better. 5 games, 332 runs at an average of 83 and a strike rate of 137 with the highest of 94. If you are going to play players by form, she should be playing. Probably going through an absolute purple patch. Pleasure to watch, very easy on the eye. She could play the role of your opening bat, and if needed, can surely keep, because they have another option in Sarah Bryce. After Catherine Bryce, Sarah Bryce, her sister, is the associate nation player. She had a very, very good WBBL. People have seen the WBBL, you'll realize that she is excellent behind the stumps and not too bad in the middle overs either, to bat down the middle order. She played for the Sydney Sixers this time, 10 games at a strike rate of 123, scored some crucial 20s and 30s in quick time. So she would probably be solving that, again, lower middle order issue that DC also have been having. Where this leaves Tanya Bhatia, we'll discuss that later. They've also picked up N. Sri Charani from Andhra. Left-arm spinner, can hit the long ball as well. A bit of a surprise package in my opinion, because they couldn't go for a leg spinner. They tried very hard for Prema Rawat. Ultimately, RCB picked her up. But I think they're settling for the left-arm spin in Sri Charani. And for the rest of it, they have their office to get their wickets. The last of their picks was Nikki Prasad, current under-19 India captain. From Karnataka, top order bat, brilliant season again. Last World Cup she missed out. Honestly, don't know why. She deserved it even then. But now, more mature, stronger and better. She led the under-19 B team against the South Africa under-19 team that toured India, and they won the championship. Fantastic leadership ability, quality cricketer, and it's an investment for sure that DC have made by taking in Nikki Prasad. Finally, RCB, last year's champions. They came with very, very clear plans into this auction and they got whoever they wanted. They needed a leg spinner and they got it in Prema Rawat from Uttarakhand. Remember I told you there were 3 players from Uttarakhand. Nandini Kashyap, Prema Rawat. She's had a good season, picked up wickets almost every game. But what I hear about her is not just her batting ability, her bowling ability, but her batting ability is also quite good. In the recently concluded Uttarakhand Premier League, she was a showstopper. And that's where she's been noticed and picked. The third player from Uttarakhand also going to RCB is Raghavi Bisht. Typically known more for her long format innings. People have said she is more a 50-over format player. I'm sure she can evolve into a good T20 player because anybody who has good solid technique can definitely change their game style to suit the T20 format. She was the highest run getter over, her 5th highest, in the T20 challengers. 5 matches she scored 162 runs at an average of 40 and a strike rate of 120. And in the finals, she won it for her team with a 71 of 51 deliveries. So like I said, good solid technique, you can always play the T20 format as well. The next player is Jaggravi Pawar, an off-spinner from Mumbai. Side spins the ball a little bit more, but has good speed variations. She's the 2nd highest T20 wicket taker in the domestic with 16 wickets at an impressive economy of 4.02. The last and probably somebody I'm really looking forward to again is their 4th pick, Joshita from Kerala. Fast bowler, simple, clean, lovely action, bowls beautiful outswingers. Again, picked in the under-19 India squad, doing really well. And I'm sure the net bowling experience that she has had with RCB will go a long way in helping her perform for them when called for, and she will deliver. So this is how the picks have been in this mini auction. I feel bad for the rest of them who have not been chosen. It's not because, like somebody mentioned, not because they aren't good enough, but there are needs that the teams have, and that's exactly what they have filled. So good luck to everybody who's made it to one of these teams, and let's hope that the 3rd edition of the WPL is a cracker.